There was a table under the tree outside the house, and the March Hare and the Hatter were having tea. A dormouse was sitting between them, asleep. The three of them were all sitting together at one corner of the table, but the table was large and there were many other seats. Alice sat down in a big chair at one end. Have some coffee, the March Hare said in a friendly voice. Alice looked all around the table, but she could only see a teapot. I don't see any coffee, she said. There is not any, said the March Hare. Then why did you ask me to have some coffee? Said Alice crossly. It wasn't very polite of you. It wasn't very polite of you to sit down. We haven't invited you to tea, said the March Hare. But there are lots of seats, said Alice. Your hair is too long, said the hatter, looking at Alice with interest. It is not polite to say things like that, said Alice. The hatter looked surprised, but he said, why is a bird like a desk? Alice was pleased, and she enjoyed playing word games, so she said, that's an easy question. Do you mean you know the answer? Said the March Hare. Yes, said Alice. Then you must say what you mean. The March Hare said. I do, Alice said quickly. Well, I mean what I say, and that's the same thing, you know. No, it isn't, said the Hatter. Listen to this. I see what it means one thing, but what I see means something very different. Alice did not know that what to say to this, so she took some tea and some bread and butter while she thought about it. The dormouse woke up for a minute and then went to sleep again. After a while, the hatter took out his watch, shook it, and looked at it sadly. 2 days slow. I told you that butter wasn't good for watches, he said angrily to the March Hare. It was the best butter, said the March Hare sadly. Alice was looking at the watch with interest. It is a strange watch, she said. It shows the day of the week, but not the time. But we know the time, said Heather. It is always 6 o'clock here. Alice suddenly understood. It is that why there are these cups and plates, she said. It is always tea time here, and you go on moving around the table. Is that right? But what happens when you come to the beginning again? Don't ask questions, said the March Hare crossly. You must tell us a story now. But I don't know any stories, said Alice. Then the March Hare and the Hatter turned to the dormouse. Wake up, dormouse, they shouted loudly in its ears. Tell us a story. Yes, please do, said Alice. The dormouse woke up and quickly began to tell a story, but a few minutes later it was asleep again. The March Hare poured a little hot tea on its nose, and and the hare began to look for a clean plate. Alice decided to leave and walk away into the wood. She looked back once, and the March Hare and the hare were trying to put the dormouse into the red pot, teapot. Well, I won't go there again, said Alice. What a stupid tea party it was. Just then she saw a door in one of the trees. How curious, she thought. But everything is strange today. I think I will go in. So she went in, and there was back in the long room with the little glass table. At once she picked up the gold key from the table and looked at the little door into the garden, and then began to eat a piece of mushroom. When she was down to a bit about 30 centimeters high, she walked through the door, and then at last she was in the beautiful garden with its green trees and bright flowers. So that's all for the chapter 5. We move to the chapter 6 in the next video. So thank you for watching me.